Anastasia Beverly Hills recently started working with a controversial brand, and Anastasia's president had a surprising reaction. Before I get into the story, I just want to put out a disclaimer. Please do not send any hate to Anastasia Beverly Hills, Roden & Fields, or anyone else involved in this story. This video is simply meant to report on the news and give some insight on the situation. On February 4th, Roden & Fields announced a collaboration with Anastasia Beverly Hills. For context, Roden & Fields is a multi-level marketing skincare company founded by the creators of Proactive. Multi-level marketing, MLM, is a business structure where an individual seller makes commissions from both selling products and recruiting other sellers into the business. This business model is controversial, as many people think MLMs take advantage of vulnerable, desperate people. According to the Roden & Fields website, the limited edition collaboration is called the Ideal Brows Kit and features some of Anastasia's top brow products, curated by ABH founder Anastasia Beverly herself. Many people were upset with the brand. Welp, that's really it for me when it comes to ABH. Like, this is dumb, and I have other brands I can spend my money on. Besides being super random, this is wildly irresponsible considering MLMs literally ruin lives. ABH should know better. How gross and unprofessional. ABH used to be such a coveted brand, and now we reminisce about when subculture was the biggest mistake they made. Other people said Norvina, Anastasia Beverly's daughter and the brand's president, was ruining the company's image. Anastasia immigrated to this country with nothing and built a multinational brand, helped reinvigorate the brow beauty business after they were plucked into non-existence in the 90s, and transformed the eyeshadow game. Boss Lady wasn't following trends, she made them. And now Norvina thinks shoving every terrible, derivative aspect of LA culture into a brand will honor her mother's legacy? Shaking my head. Obviously she hates this company and wants to bring them down. MLMs destroy lives, and there isn't a single good one out there. So how do you not research this one and collab with them? And one person pointed out something interesting about the business side of this collaboration. They're working together because they share the same investor, TPG. TPG is heavily involved in both brands' management and operations. I'm assuming that's why, at least. That's the only thing here that remotely makes sense. To be clear, this whole situation makes no sense at all. When this news came out, many people started tweeting Norvina with their concerns. Norvina responded to one of the tweets asking what an MLM was. People started educating her about MLMs, and Norvina began tweeting updates about the situation. I am all over this. I had nothing to do with it, but this is top priority now. We care too much about the community to deter our relationships with consumers. I've been on it since it was called to my attention. Admittedly, it took me a couple of minutes to realize what was even happening. Regardless, this is getting fixed by noon. Soon after, she tweeted a statement. I don't take consumer feedback lightly. Although this is not the official announcement, since I'm sure they haven't seen our emails yet, consider that we hear you loud and clear, and this partnership is not happening. She also said she was in contact with her mother. Yeah, called my mom, it has to be done. I haven't moved from the same spot. I literally got educated in minutes and jumped to action. On February 5th, Norvina tweeted a statement. Anastasia Beverly Hills would like to address the members of our community concerned about the test marketing effort conducted with Roden & Fields. A limited supply of product was delivered to Roden & Fields to conduct a short-term test. The brow kits made available have been selling at a very fast pace to RNF customers. Consequently, the test will soon end. We know that there are people who feel very strongly both negatively and positively about MLMs. We respect all our consumers. We will not be continuing this test with RNF. We have not previously participated in MLM marketing. We do not have any plans to do so in the future. ABH will always take seriously the opinions, concerns, and suggestions of our community. Our relationship with you is our #1 priority. We will continue to research and educate ourselves on all future activities. However, a few people pointed out that it was always meant to be a limited time collab, but you didn't end anything. It was always a limited supply for a limited time. And your mom was on live last night talking about the collab. Total circus. And others shared a video taken from Roden & Fields' live stream, where Anastasia Beverly promoted the collaboration. That seems to be the end of the situation for now. So, what's the big issue? Why MLMs are controversial, and how to get out of an MLM? Like I said earlier, MLM is a business structure where an individual seller makes commissions from both selling products and recruiting other sellers into the business. While people who are involved in these companies present MLMs as a legitimate business opportunity, MLMs often end up doing more harm than good. For starters, most people involved in MLMs will never earn money, let alone turn a profit on their initial investment. According to a study by AARP, 73% of people who join MLMs either make no money or lose money, but that number could be much higher. In a report for the FTC, John M. Taylor, an advocate from the Consumer Awareness Institute, said 99% of people involved in MLMs lose money. John also says the entire MLM business model is flawed, and it has negative impacts on most of the people who join. Our studies, along with those done by other independent analysts not connected to the MLM industry, clearly prove that MLM as a business model, with its endless chain of recruitment of participants as primary customers, is flawed, unfair, and deceptive. Worldwide feedback suggests it is also extremely viral and harmful to many participants. This conclusion does not apply just to a specific MLM company, but to the entire MLM industry. It is a systemic problem. He says MLMs shouldn't be compared with legitimate small businesses for one important reason. Failure and loss rates for MLMs are not comparable with legitimate small businesses, which have been found to be profitable for 39% over the lifetime of the business, whereas less than 1% of MLM participants profit. MLM makes even gambling look like a safe bet in comparison. There's also a personal impact from participating in MLM companies. Most people in MLMs tend to be women in smaller communities, and that's not by accident. Rochelle Burnside, a content management specialist who runs the MLM section of business review site Best Company, says MLMs like Avon have relied on women in rural communities to sell their products since the 19th century. She says, Avon recognized women for the marketing assets they were. Women often endorse products to friends, creating a wildfire of word-of-mouth marketing. Today, MLM companies target women in more modern ways. According to Rochelle, they sell products they know women often purchase. They market products that women would want a discount on because they want to purchase them themselves. And one of the incentives of becoming a recruiter is that you can receive a discount on the products you sell. And the marketing materials these companies use feature graphic design elements that appeal to modern women. They also take marketing cues from online resources for moms, such as mommy blogs, as well as Pinterest boards and Instagram images. The websites, marketing materials, and training documents often feature pastels and calligraphic fonts. The aesthetic and ethos behind many of these brands appeal to a wide range of women, from millennials looking to make it big in the gig economy to established career women. As well, women are attracted to the community MLMs build among their sellers. Sophie, a former LuLaRoe consultant, says, I'd come out of a rough situation, a custody battle. I was lost. I had no friends. I had no social life. And then instantly, I had this giant family of women who I didn't even know. We love you. What do you need? Let me help you. You're having trouble with sales? Let me share my customers with you. You can't make an order this month? Let's trade shirts so we have new inventory. It was a true sisterhood. People living in rural communities also see MLMs as an opportunity for economic success. As economic opportunity has become more concentrated in urban areas in the US, rural communities have fallen behind. Residents of towns like Casper, Wyoming, Spring Creek, Nevada, and DeRidder, Louisiana, all missed out on economic recovery following the 2007 global financial crisis. Bootstrapping, hard-working families in these regions are urgently searching for a way to regain their economic liberty, along with their dignity. But sadly, this usually doesn't happen for most people involved in MLMs. In the modern era of MLMs, sellers are encouraged to recruit new sellers into the business by reaching out to friends, even if they haven't spoken to these people in a long time, and these potential recruits end up feeling used. When Jamie Birdwell Branson moved to Toledo, Ohio, an old high school friend reached out, wanting to catch up. Jamie said she was so desperate for friends, she accepted the invitation. But halfway through the meal, things took a turn. It was nothing but a marketing ploy for Arbonne. She had zero interest in what was going on in my life and had no intention of forming or reconnecting a friendship. Needless to say, we haven't talked since. Grace Alexander is a chef and diabetic who helped design meal plans for diabetic residents in an assisted assisted living center. A colleague once reached out to Grace asking for help creating a diet to regulate her blood sugar. When the colleague asked about keto diets, she turned the conversation to her MLM. Of course, then she sent me the scammy keto shake hard sell MLM message, and I was so disgusted. I unfollowed her on social media and stopped responding to her waves and DMs. I felt completely disrespected and insulted by her pretending to want my educated opinion on something I am quasi-expert in. Discovering it was all a front to sell me some ridiculous get skinny fast product was just the last straw for me. Family members aren't immune to MLM tactics either. Jen Johnson said that her sister started selling MLM products, something that their mom initially supported but stopped buying when the sister claimed the product would cure their mom's cancer. Her sister ended up not speaking to her mother during her final year of life. Johnson blames both the MLM for its tactics and her sister for being heartless enough to follow them. Also, while my mom was in hospice, my sister attempted one final sale by having her MLM friend try to sell to my mom. I have no respect for them. As for the friendship sellers form among each other, they only seem to be supportive when the sellers are in good standing with the MLM. Ashley, a former LuLaRoe consultant, said the consultants seemed to be more concerned about the MLM itself than the people in it. It's like the policy police. We're going to find you, stalk you, tell on you. How dare you guys say a single word bad? We're going to shame you. And MLMs encourage people to put the business before everything else, including the seller's personal health and finances. As Sophie puts it, I was urged to stop paying my bills to invest in more inventory. I was urged to get rid of television. I was urged to pawn my vehicle. I just had to get on anxiety meds over all of it because I've started having panic attacks. There are more harmful impacts of MLMs that I'm not able to talk about in this video, but I will link additional resources in the description box in case you're interested in learning more. So, if you're involved in an MLM, how can you get out? The most important thing is to be kind to yourself. BotWatch blog, an anti-MLM website, explains why you shouldn't be too hard on yourself when you decide to leave. It is not your fault that you did not become a successful millionaire like you were promised. It is not you that is the failure. The MLM system is set up to be like that. For the few to be successful at the top, the vast majority of people need to fail. When you joined your company, you were slowly and subtly subjected to techniques that change the way you think. It is possible you ended up doing some things you were not proud of. Some people feel ashamed of some of the things they did and said and how they treated people. Please do not feel that any of this makes you a bad person or that it is your fault it all went wrong. You should also try to reconnect with friends and family members you might have lost touch with, even if they unfriended or unfollowed you because of the MLM's pushy recruitment and sales tactics. BotWatch blog says, your good friends and your family will have seen what happened to you and they may well have been very concerned for you. They might be very upset at losing you. Reconnect with people that you have lost touch with. Don't just add them as friends on Facebook because they might think that you are still trying to sell them something. Send them a message or phone them. Explain what has happened and how you have left the company and you want to catch up with them. Chances are they will leap at the chance of meeting up and will be very happy for you. Be aware as well though that relationships may be a bit strained at first as your friend could be wary and may not understand what happened. Be patient with them and explain you want to get back to the old you and you need their help. As for your upline, the person who registered you into the MLM, it's probably best to not tell them you've left until after you've gone. They may try to convince you to stay in the company, and you'll likely be vulnerable at this point. You should also cut off contact with the rest of the company. Shut down your Facebook groups, unfriend MLM people that you do not know and probably never even met. Remove yourself from group chats, leave your MLM completely. Do not even remain as a customer. Shut down any websites you might have set up. You need to make sure that you will not be tempted to join again. And if you have unsold products sitting in your home, try to sell it back to the MLM. They are obliged to buy back a lot of it, depending on which country you are in. Most MLMs have a buyback clause, which is supposed to protect people from stockpiling products and being called a pyramid scheme. Have a look at your terms and conditions. You won't be able to get all your money back, but it is worth a try. While it's good that Norvina fixed the situation as quickly as possible, this collaboration shouldn't have happened to begin with. It's important for any brand owner to know as much as possible about the companies they're working with, especially if their business model does more harm than good. What do you think about this story? Have you been part of an MLM? Let me know in the comments below.